Hi, and today we're talking about Maddox. Let's go. Okay, to find Maddox, you go to the house over here by the graveyard. You go inside, and you go down the stairs, and there he is. Pretty simple. Maddox is an NPC that allows you to do something called Slayers. Slayers are quests that you go on to kill different bosses of different mobs. So first we have zombies, or the boss is called Revenant Horror. Next one is Spider. The boss is called Tarantula Broodfather. The next one is Dogs, and it's called the Sven Packmaster. And the last one is Enderman, and the boss for it is the Void of Gloom Seraph. At least I think that's how you say it. I hope it is. There's different tiers to each boss, different places to fight them. A tier 1 Revenant Horror would only give you 5 Zombie Slayer XP, but a tier 4 would give you 500. Not to mention every tier 4 boss you complete, it gives you a combat XP buff, and that can be good for leveling up combat. Another thing to mention is the item called the Maddox Bat Phone, which is something you get from Sven Packmaster, I believe. It's where you can just call Maddox from wherever you are in Skyblock. It's pretty cool. So you don't have to go to the hub and then come back to this house and then talk to him. You can just ring the bat phone. There you go. There's this menu. And I didn't even have to walk over here. Now I'm going to show you the best place to fight the bosses. First place, if you're doing like a tier 1 or tier 2, I would suggest this area. But if you're doing something like a tier 3, I would go over here to the edge of the graveyard where there is this little cave. Yeah. And you kill these guys, which are a little bit higher level than the ones up there. So it makes the Slayer go faster. Just make sure you can kill them. Alright, next place is for fighting Tarantula Broodfathers. And if you're doing tier 1 or tier 2, you're going to want to kill the low level ones, especially if you're just starting out in the game, because they don't have much health at all. And if you're going to be fighting something like a tier 3, tier 4, you're going to come over to the cave over here. These ones are a lot higher level, and to get as many kills as you need for something like a tier 4, these are pretty good. Spawning something like a tier 3 will not take as long if you go over here instead of to the tower thing. Alright, next up is the Dogs, or the Sven Packmaster. If you're fighting a tier 1, 2, or 3, this would be the place to go. Except when you're doing a tier 3, I would suggest killing the old wolves that have 15,000 health, so it doesn't take as long. Now, if you're going to be fighting a tier 4, something like a tier 4, or if you want a tier 3 to go faster, you can go over here to this waterfall. And it's not usually open. You have to use a Super Boom TNT to open this, but you come down here to the Howling Cave, and you kill the ones here, the Pack Spirits. They only have 6,000 health. The only problem is that it can be pretty contested here. A lot of people like grinding the dogs. For Void of Gloom Seraph, you just go to the end, and you go to maybe the bottom or the top. It doesn't really matter for tier 1s and maybe tier 2s. But when you go to tier 3s or tier 4s, I would highly suggest going to the Void Sepulture. Sepulture. I can't speak. They have a little bit more health. Just a tiny bit more health. Yeah, these guys have like 750,000 health. Tier 1s should be probably fought over here since it'll only like 50, 60 kills to spawn the boss. But when you are doing a tier 3 or a tier 4 or maybe a tier 2, definitely go to the Void Sepulture. I would definitely recommend having like a version of Wither armor to fight these mobs, and at least a Void Edge katana.